Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, I want to add some of the validation in our all that field. You can use that building all that validation. Also, if you want to add that some of the custom validation, you can able to use it. For doing this, I want to make this all that our field. Here I want to make one of the object. Okay, with this object, then we can actually add that multiple validation for a specific some of the field. Like for our name field, I want to use one of the validation as a type. Okay, our type. And type will be like I make it as a string. Okay, that will be one of the string type. If you want to add that length, like as a minimum length, maximum length for a specific this field, you can also add it. Like then you have to do that will be as a minimum. Okay, minimum length, and with this minimum length, I want to make it as a 3. Okay, so that will be as a 3, and also you can add that as a maximum length. And maximum length, I want to make it as a 20. Okay, I make it as a 20, and then a required. I want to make this field as a required, and required I make it as a true. So that will be actually the true. Okay, I simply added some of the building validation for a specific this field. If you want to add that some of the custom validation, you can also add that custom validations, like that is our age. Okay, for the age I want to also add another object. First of all, our type, I make this type, and type will be as a is number type. Okay, that will be a number type. I simply added that number. And after that, if you want to add that validations, like as a less than 18-year age will be allowed for access this input field, then you can actually also add it. Then you have to add that as a validate. So that is the one of the validate method. Here we have to pass that value. Okay, value means what? Value means actually whatever the name age you will be added, so that will be the value. Okay, so that is our validate value. Here I want to put one of the condition. Here I put one of the if condition. Into this if condition area, when our value, okay, whatever the things you will be inputted, when that will be as a less than 18. Okay, when that will be as a less than 18, I want to add some of the message. Okay, I want to show some of the message. So if you want to show this error message, then that will be as a throw, and the new error. Okay, new error. And now with this error, I want to pass on our value. That means which things you want to visible. Better I want to use it with the back tag. Okay, with this back tag, I want to use that as the age can't be. Okay, age can be less than 18. So this type of one of the validation I simply added in here. Okay, friend. I hope it's very much clear to you. So that is one of the custom validation, and that is our building validation for this field. And also there is another one as an email. Okay, for the email I also want to add another condition, like that will be a type. Okay, type I want to make it that will be a string type, right? So that will be one of the string type. And here I want to do if you want to add some of the custom validation, as I told you, then that will be as a validate. And into this validate, that after that here we have to pass that our input field value, right? So that will be value. So I simply added that value. Great. So into this value area, if you want to add some of the validations, like that is actually appropriate email format or not. So as I told you before, there is also another npm package as a validator, so you can actually use it. So with this validator package, automatically that will be checked this email is appropriate email format or not. If you go to that Google and if you search with the validator, I search the validator npm. Okay, now if simply go there. And now with this, you can actually add all that validation. Automatically that will be actually added. So you can see there is all that validator. First of all, we have to install it with the npm install and then validator. You can use it as a npm install validator, rather than you can also use it as a npm I validator. Better I copy it here. I simply copy it. And now I want to go to our project. Into this project, first of all, I want to install this package. So if you want to install this package, I hope you already know what exactly you have to do. That will be as a npm I validator. Now I just simply click as a enter. Now that will be install this validator package in my system. You can see it's now successfully installed, which is totally fine. Okay, which is totally fine. So into this validator, there have all the method. Here now I want to access this method as a is email maybe. Here there is a is generations. You can see there is email, and into this is email it will be checked that your string value. Okay, here I want to right now use this one. So if you want to use this package, first of all we have to load. That means we have to input both of this in our user. Okay, so into this user area, area, sorry, here I want to use it. That means I want to use it in particular that position. So here I want to use it as a constant. That is a constant, and into this constant I want to first of all I want to load that our mongoose. Okay, so that will be the mongoose. So mongoose I want to load this mongoose. That means I want to import it. That will be the require, and require will be as a mongoose. Okay, so I simply loaded this mongoose, and also I take another one as a constant, and constant that will be for the validator, and validator will be required. So that will be the require. Okay, require and require our name, that is a validator. So I simply loaded both of this in here. Okay, so here we have to also use it. If you go also, you can get that instruction in here, and that is our validator. You can see that is the input validator. Right now we are using this one. Okay, so now I simply loaded both of these in here, and also want to take that things in our task, because in our tags that will be also needed. Okay, here also I want to take that our mongoose, which is totally fine. Great. Now we are able to access it, and that means here for the string value, okay, into this value area I want to put one of the condition, one of the if condition, and with this if condition area, when that will be not, okay, not validator. So with this validator, not validator, and with this not validator I want to use that as a is email. Is email method. I have already discussed about that things with you. So with this it will be check when that will be not appropriate email. That means our email value. Okay, that is value. When this value will be not appropriate that email, then I want to pass one of the message. Okay, here I want to throw one of the message, that will be the throw, and the new error message. So that will be the new error message, and our message will be as a email is not valid. Okay, then that will be displayed this type of one of the error. I hope friend every part is very much clear to you. So that is our validator. Yeah, I have already loaded this validator, everything is great. And also there is another one as a password. For the password I want to make this field type, and for the type I want to make it as a string. That will be the string type. Okay, so that is a string type, and also I want to make it as a required. Okay, that will be the required, and required will be as a true. So I simply added that as a true. Okay, now I want to check it. Okay, that means I want to add, I have already added all that validation for our every field. Right now I want to check all that our validation. So if you want to check it, now go to that index. So into this index area I want to create another function. Okay, I want to create another function, that is our function keyword, and I name it as a db. Also you have to save this data, right? And that will be one of the asynchronous function. So I make it as a asynchronous. So that will be as asynchronous function. And now here I want to do, first of all I want to name it the constant. So that is a constant, that is a constant variable, and here I name it as a user. Okay, and user I want to create one of the object for this, that will be a new user. I have already named it our model name as the user. So now I want to add that all that value, that means which data you want to insert. So first of all I add that our field name as a name, right? And for the name I want to add some of the value as a Aryan. I simply added that value as Aryan, and also after that there is a name, age, email, and then password, right? I want to add that name, and then age I want to make it as a 40, which is totally fine. And then I want to take that email. Okay, email I want to use it as a aryan@gmail.com. Great. And also another one as a password, right? So password for the password I want to make it as a 1 2 3 4. Okay, 1 2 3 or 4 5. So this type of one of the password I simply added in here. So now we have to also display it. So I want to first of all display our db. That means this db function I want to display it. Great. And here now I want to save this data in our database. So that will be as await, and then await user all that saved data. So I want to save it. Great. So now I want to display the message. That means it display all that our error message. If you want to display this error message, we can display it with the try catch. Remember, we have already discussed about that things with you. That will be as a try. So if there have everything okay, then that will be try, rather than that will be into the catch, right? So I want to use that as a catch. So there is another method as a catch method. I simply loaded this catch method, and here I pass one of the error message. So all the error I simply pass it in here. So into this try, okay, into this try area, I want to take everything. I simply copy it. That means this part I simply cart it. Okay, cart it, and now into the try, into this try area, I simply paste it. Okay, so I want to check that things into the console, what exactly that our user data will be display. That will be as a console. Okay, console log, and into this console log area I want to display our user data. Okay, here I want to display our user data, and also into the catch, that means here I want to display that error message, right? That will be as a console. That is a console, and then the console log, and into this console log area I want to pass that our e message. Okay, all that message, then that will be display. So I simply loaded that message. Okay, so that is pretty much basic things which I have already covered. I hope you already remember every part. Now I want to click as a save all, and to run this, and I want to save all the data in our database. If you want to run it, then that will be as a node, right? That will be a node and then index. So I simply run that as a node index, click as a enter. Database is connected, and also yes, you can see all the data is now successfully saved in our database. Okay, so it's display in our console because of all into the console log area I have displayed that user, right? So that is all that our user data. Now this data is visible, and also we get it in our database. Now go to the database, I want to refresh it. Yes, you can see there is a new database I have created as a task. Now if you open this task, and you can see there is a user. So here into this user area I have inserted some of the data. Yes, you can see it's now successfully inserted this data in our database, right? So here everything is okay because I have already maintained all that our validation process, like our name field. I have already added some of the name field validation as a, that should be the minimum length as a 3, maximum length as a 20, so which is totally fine. Age, that is for the age, I have already added that validation as a, when that will be as a less than 18, then that will be display this type of the error message. But here I make it as a 40, that means that its condition is totally fine, email is appropriate, password is appropriate, right? For the reasons here I didn't get array error, and we successfully insert this data in our database. So now I want to add some of the invalid data. That means here I will actually add the 2. I want to make it as a 17 or 16. I want to add inappropriate email address. I want to check all that our validation, right? Here I have already added all that our validation. Now one by one I want to check all that validation. Then I have to continue this process in our next video. I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.